தமிழ்நாடு முதலமைச்சர் வந்து வெளிநாட்டு முதலீடு கொண்டு வரதுக்கு போயிருந்திருக்காரு. அந்த முதலீடு கொண்டு வரதுனால இந்திய தொழில் கூட்டமைப்பு இருக்கக்கூடிய நிறுவனங்களுக்கு பாதிப்பு ஏற்படுமா ஏற்படாது?
இல்லைங்க, அது வர்றது வரல நம்மளுக்கு பாதிப்புன்னு நினச்சிக்க கூடாதுங்க. அது வந்து நம்மளுக்கு ஒரு நல்ல காம்படிட்டிவ் எட்ஜ் கொடுக்கும் லோக்கல் இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ்க்கு.
அங்கேருந்து வர்றவங்க லோக்கலில் உள்ள கம்பெனியோட டைப் பண்ணிட்டும் நிறைய இருக்காங்க. நீங்கள் சுசுக்கின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வெளிநாட்டிலேருந்து தான் வந்தாங்க, டிவிஎஸோட வர்ச் பண்ணி தான் ஒர்க் பண்ணாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி எந்த கம்பெனி வந்தாலும் அதோட சரௌண்டிங் இந்தியன் வெண்டர் வச்சு தான் பண்ண முடியும்.
1369 மெம்பர்ஸ் இருக்கிறாங்க இன் தமிழ்நாடு ஸ்டேட். வி ஆர் த லார்ஜஸ்ட் ஸ்டேட் இன் இந்தியா ஃபார் சிஐஐ மெம்பர்ஷிப். சதர்ன் ரீஜன் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 3000 சொச்ச மெம்பர்ஸு. நாங்கள் எல்லா ரீஜன்ஸ் விட நாங்கள் தான் ஹையஸ்ட் இன் மெம்பர்ஷிப். இந்த வருஷம் வந்து நாங்கள் ஒரு 6 டிஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் தேர்ந்தெடுத்து, தட் இஸ் மேபி Tier 3 Tier 4 டவுன்ஸ், நாட் ஒன்லி இன் தமிழ்நாடு, இந்த சதர்ன் ரீஜனில் விச் எவர் அதர் Tier 3 Tier 4 டவுன்ஸ் எடுத்து அந்த டவுன்ஸில் இருந்து வந்து நம்மளுக்கு டு ப்ரொமோட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியல் க்ரோத்து, ஜாப் க்ரோத்து அண்ட் ஜாப் க்ரியேஷன் செய்கிறதுக்கோசரம் நாங்கள் வந்து 6 விஷன் டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸ் செய்யலான்னு சொல்லிட்டு பிளான் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். நாங்கள் தமிழ்நாடு கவர்மெண்ட்டோட சிஐஐ நிறையா ஸ்கீம்ஸில் க்ளோஸாக ஒர்க் பண்ணிகிட்ருக்குறோம். அதில் 2 ஸ்கீம் வந்து பார்த்திங்கன்னா எஜுகேஷன் செக்டரில் நான் முதல்வன் ஸ்கீம் ஒன்று, நம்ம ஸ்கூலுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு ஸ்கீமில் சிஐஐ வந்து க்ளோஸாக கவர்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் தமிழ்நாடோட வேலை செஞ்சிட்ருக்குறோம். ஸோ சிஐஐ தமிழ்நாடோட விஷன் தட் இஸ் டு ஒர்க் டுவர்ட்ஸ் த விஷன் ஆஃப் அவர் ஆனரபிள் சீஃப் மினிஸ்டர் ஆஃப் தமிழ்நாடு for Tamil Nadu to become a 1 trillion economy by 2030. அது வந்து CII வந்து முழு ஒத்துழைப்பு கொடுக்குற மாதிரி நாங்கள் ஃபோக்கஸ் செஞ்சிட்ருக்கோம்.
Okay, good afternoon, and we are here from CII Southern Region. My name is Kamal Bali. I am the chairman of CII Southern Region. Alongside me, we have Dr. Nandini, who is the deputy chairperson for CII Southern Region, and on my left is Mr. Jayesh, who is the regional director for CII Southern Region. So we are here to share with you our thoughts on 3 things. One is on the India growth story, the macroeconomic outlook, and also pertaining to South India. The second important thing which we want to share is CII's, how CII will proactively support the transformation of Southern India when it reaches 100. So over the next 25 years, what is the goalpost we are setting, and how, and the third part will be how we will get there. What are the enablers, what are the various initiatives what CII and other stakeholders will drive, which will help India and South India reach its destination. So as far as the India growth story is concerned, I think we are in the spotlight already. India, we have grown at 7.2% in the year which just ended. This is slightly higher than the earlier estimates of 7%, and we believe our economy, which is $3.5 trillion today, which is the 5th largest in the world, should be amongst the top 3 in another 3 to 4 years time, and probably cross $7 trillion by the year 2030. And with this, what will happen is by 2030 the per capita income will also go above $5,000 per annum, compared to $2,300 or something. And this, to my mind, is a very big shift which will happen as the per capita income increases, the consumption grows. That leads to new investments, that leads to new jobs, and that kickstarts a virtuous cycle of growth. So to my mind, this is an important thing, that why this growth is so important. It is not that you get some kick out of 7 trillion, but I think it's more important that the per capita grows a big way. CII's vision and theme for this year, which we are going to drive for next 2 years, and Dr. Nandini wants to drive this on similar basis next year as well, is transformation of South India at 100, and through 5 pillars. 1, competitiveness. 2, growth. 3, sustainability. 4, trust. And 5, globalization. So with competitiveness, growth, sustainability, trust and globalization, I think we set a very good theme for southern states for the next few years ahead. So this, I think, and how do we get to these this theme. So I think we have we have looked at 9 levers of change, or 9 enablers which will help us to get there. We talked about people and culture rejuvenation, which includes skilling, our youth power, education, and all of that. The second is the holistic sustainability and the ESG piece, which has been talked about even in the press conference just now. Then we talked about technology adoption, the new technology adoption and digital transformation, energy transition, innovation and startup ecosystem, manufacturing excellence and industry 4.0, partnerships, collaborations and international linkages, MSME focus, and building brand South India through sectoral promotions. These are some of the 9 levers which we feel will drive Southern India to become highly competitive, highly sustainable, trustworthy, and become a global brand, become even a bigger brand from what it is today. So we believe, and CII has 10 centers of excellence. We believe that we will be able to help in many of these. We have set a goal of almost 2,000 MSMEs to be touched through a very important program, or 2-day program delivered at the doorsteps to about 2,000 MSMEs over the next 1 year, which will help them to look at competitiveness, sustainability, right from starting a company to product development, to growth, to maturity, to reading a balance sheet, to making a business plan, all of that. I mean, I think this is something which we feel is required, and we will do that. And so I think that's one. And then, in fact, when it comes to brand building South India, we have number of initiatives going, like Dakshin, we have XCon, we have Mystic South, we have Ayurveda Conclave. We have so many initiatives going. We believe that these will continue to go in a big way. So I think with this, we are very pleased that our agenda for the next 2 years is very bullish, is very, very pragmatic, and I believe that CII will play a very important role in building southern states' appeal and value proposition for rest of the world. And we believe that the trajectory from India at 75 today, or South India at 75 to South India at 100, will and making it realize a 7 trillion as a country at about by 2030 will be a very big one. And Tamil Nadu, of course, will play a very big role, even a bigger role when it comes to South India as far as CII is concerned, because a lot of our membership is centered around Tamil Nadu. So yeah, so I will now request my colleague and deputy. Yeah.
தமிழ்நாடு முதலமைச்சர் வந்து வெளிநாட்டு முதலீடு கொண்டு வரதுக்கு போயிருந்திருக்காரு. அந்த முதலீடு கொண்டு வரதுனால இந்திய தொழில் கூட்டமைப்பு இருக்கக்கூடிய நிறுவனங்களுக்கு பாதிப்பு ஏற்படுமா ஏற்படாது?
இல்லைங்க, அது வந்து நம்ம பாதிப்புன்னு நினச்சிக்க கூடாதுங்க. அது competition is healthy. So we want MNCs to come into India, so that the local industry also improves and local industry also competes in that particular sector. இல்லைங்க, அது வர்றது வரை நம்மளுக்கு பாதிப்புன்னு நினச்சிக்க கூடாதுங்க. அது வந்து நம்மளுக்கு ஒரு நல்ல காம்படிட்டிவ் எட்ஜ் கொடுக்கும் லோக்கல் இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ்க்கு.
அங்கேருந்து வர்றவங்க லோக்கலில் உள்ள கம்பெனியோட டைப் பண்ணிட்டு நிறைய இருக்காங்க. நீங்கள் சுசுக்கின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வெளிநாட்டிலேருந்து தான் வந்தாங்க, டிவிஎஸோட வர்ச் பண்ணி தான் ஒர்க் பண்ணாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி எந்த கம்பெனி வந்தாலும் அதோட சரௌண்டிங் இந்தியன் வெண்டர் வச்சு தான் பண்ண முடியும். அவங்களே வெளிநாட்டிலேருந்து எல்லாம் அவங்க வெண்டரையும்
அந்த ஃபண்டு வந்து அவங்களோட பிஸ்னஸ் டெவலப் ஆகும்போது நம்மளுடைய இந்திய தொழில் கூட்டமைப்பு நிறுவனங்களுக்கு இந்த ப்ராஃபிட்டை ஏற்படுத்தி கொடுக்குமா?
ஆமாம், எங்கள் மெம்பரில் உள்ள நிறைய பேர் வெண்டர் ஆவாங்கல்ல. அவங்களுக்கு
இப்போ எங்கள் மெம்பர்ஸ்
will become vendors to main company.
62% MS
அவங்க மெயின் கம்பெனியாக இருப்பாங்க, நம்ம வெண்டர்ஸ் ஆகும்.
பட் எம்எஸ்எம்இஸுக்கு ஹெல்ப் ஆகும். அதே மாதிரி லார்ஜ் கம்பெனிஸுக்கு பார்ட்னர்ஷிப் ஆகும் பார்க்கலாம். நம்ம வந்து பாசிட்டிவ் ஆங்கிளாக தான் பார்க்க முடியும். அது எல்லா கண்ட்ரீஸ்க்கும் இதே மாதிரி தான் சுச்சுவேஷன் இருக்கும், எல்லா ஸ்டேட்டுக்கும் இந்த மாதிரி தான் இருக்கும். வெளிநாட்டிலேருந்து வந்ததுன்னா பார்ட்னர்ஷிப்பாக பார்க்குறதுக்கு தான் ஹெல்த்தியான இண்டஸ்ட்ரி சினாரியோ.
அவங்க ஸ்டாண்டர்ட்ஸை இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்ணிக்கலாம், அப்கிரேட் பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
See, globalization is very important. So companies will come here, our companies will go out. Just like we want to export outside in other countries, other companies will also come to India. So I think it's a healthy thing to have, as Dr. Nandini said. Now I'll request Dr. Nandini. Yeah.
Most of the startup companies are not successful because the people who are starting that company are going some loss account and taking the money out. They are using the startup to become a billionaire very shortly. So do you have any plan of eradicating that?
No, I think those individual mindsets we cannot change. I mean, CII doesn't have the job to. I mean, I think if somebody has decided to set up a business not to solve a particular problem but only to become a billionaire, short term, I don't think CII has a solution for that. Okay, CII has a solution only when you are really chasing a compelling problem, you are building a business model. Then we have our Center of Excellence, which is called CII Center of Entrepreneurship and Startup and Innovation. So there is something we can help if the mentoring is required, if the right go-to-market connect is required. So CII does help that. But if somebody has decided a business model which is not relevant, the CII, we are an advisory or a development institution. We cannot do what they are supposed to do.
CII சதர்ன் ரீஜன் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எங்களுக்கு வந்து 3000 மெம்பர்ஸ் இருக்கிறாங்க. 3000 மெம்பர்ஸோட பிரேக்கப் சொல்ல போனால் இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ் வந்து 62%, அதில் 62% வந்து ஸ்மால் ஸ்கேல், மீடியம் அண்ட் ஸ்மால் ஸ்கேல் இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸு, அப்புறம் மீதி வந்து லார்ஜ் ஸ்கேல், அப்புறம் பிறகு வந்து சர்வீஸ் இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ் இருக்கிறாங்க. எஜுகேஷனல் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன்ஸ் அதில் மெம்பர்ஸாக இருக்கிறாங்க. ஸோ we have the largest representation from Tamil Nadu. That is, Tamil Nadu மட்டும் வந்து 1369 members இருக்கிறாங்க in Tamil Nadu state. We are the largest state in India for CII membership. Southern region பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 3000 சொச்ச மெம்பர்ஸ். நாங்கள் எல்லா ரீஜன்ஸ் விட நாங்கள் தான் ஹையஸ்ட் இன் மெம்பர்ஷிப். தமிழ்நாடு ஆஃப்கோர்ஸ் நாங்கள் சொல்லியாச்சு லார்ஜஸ்ட் மெம்பர்னு. சதர்ன் ரீஜன் நாங்கள் வந்து ஃபோக்கஸ் வந்து தமிழ்நாடு பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் இந்த வருஷம் வந்து நாங்கள் ஒரு 6 டிஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் தேர்ந்தெடுத்து, தட் இஸ் மேபி Tier 3, Tier 4 டவுன்ஸ், நாட் ஒன்லி இன் தமிழ்நாடு, இந்த சதர்ன் ரீஜனில் விச்எவர் அதர் Tier 3, Tier 4 டவுன்ஸ் எடுத்து அந்த டவுன்ஸில் இருந்து வந்து நம்மளுக்கு டு ப்ரொமோட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியல் க்ரோத்து, ஜாப் க்ரோத்து அண்ட் ஜாப் க்ரியேஷன் செய்கிறதுக்கோசரம் நாங்கள் வந்து 6 விஷன் டாக்குமெண்ட்ஸ் செய்யலான்னு சொல்லிட்டு பிளான் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். அப்புறம் தமிழ்நாடு பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் நாங்கள் வந்து இந்த மாதிரி செக்டர்ஸில் ரினியூபிள் எனர்ஜி, இதுக்கு முன்னாடி நாங்கள் சொல்லியிருக்கிறோம், மீடியா என்டர்டெயின்மெண்ட், எலக்ட்ரிக் வெஹிக்கிள்ஸில் பாலிசி மேக்கிங்கில், மெடிக்கல் டிவைசஸ், எலக்ட்ரானிக்ஸ், ஃபின்டெக், இந்த மாதிரி செக்டர்ஸில் வந்து க்ளோஸாக கவர்மெண்ட்டோட வேலை செய்கிறதுக்கு நாங்கள் பிளான் செஞ்சுருக்கிறோம். நதர் இம்பார்ட்டண்ட் ஏரியா வந்து இந்த முந்தைய பேசின மாதிரி ஸ்பெஷல் எக்கனாமிக் ஜோன்ஸ் ஆல்சோ வில் பி recommended to the government of Tamil Nadu. நாங்கள் தமிழ்நாடு கவர்மெண்ட்டோட CII நிறையா ஸ்கீம்ஸில் க்ளோஸாக ஒர்க் பண்ணிகிட்ருக்குறோம். அதில் 2 ஸ்கீம் வந்து பார்த்திங்கன்னா எஜுகேஷன் செக்டரில் நான் முதல்வன் ஸ்கீம் ஒன்று, நம்ம ஸ்கூலுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு ஸ்கீமில் CII வந்து க்ளோஸாக கவர்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் தமிழ்நாடோட வேலை செஞ்சிட்ருக்குறோம். ஸோ CII தமிழ்நாடோட விஷன் தட் இஸ் டு ஒர்க் டுவர்ட்ஸ் த விஷன் ஆஃப் அவர் ஆனரபிள் சீஃப் மினிஸ்டர் ஆஃப் தமிழ்நாடு for Tamil Nadu to become a 1 trillion economy by 2030. அது வந்து CII வந்து முழு ஒத்துழைப்பு கொடுக்குற மாதிரி நாங்கள் ஃபோக்கஸ் செஞ்சிட்ருக்கோம்.
I think over the next 1 decade, the Indian economy we believe is going to grow at a CAGR of about 7.8%. So this will catapult our economy to about $7 trillion by 2030. But more importantly, also raising the per capita income from $2,300 to above $5,000 per annum. So that's to me, that's the beginning of a very big story. And why do I say that's the beginning of a very big story? Because that is where the virtuous cycle of growth will start. More people with higher income will be, the middle will bulge a lot. which will lead to more consumption. More consumption will lead to more investment. More investment will lead to more jobs. More jobs will lead to further consumption. So this is a virtuous cycle. So to me, that's the big news here. The other is that India's GDP for this last year, which ended in March, was actually 7.2%. Earlier, we had all estimated 7%. So the error was on a good side, on a positive. It was a happy error to say. I would say 7.2%, which is good. And projected growth for the current year, which is 23-24, is anywhere between 6.5 to 6.7%. Obviously, there are always some challenges of the global kind, but I think the domestic economy seems to be very bullish. And I will tell you why it is bullish. If you look at, as you all know, the GST collections have been record high last year. Every month you have been beating the previous month. You have been above 1.5 lakh crore, and in April 23 you broke all records. We were 1.87 lakh crore, highest ever. Manufacturing PMI is on a positive note. Automotive sales are robust because of good rural demand. Inflation, where the world is struggling in almost double digits, like Europe and America. American inflation has been in double digits for some time. Of course, now it's also coming down, but we are at a low of 4.7%. I think this is a good band to be in, and fiscal deficit is also going as per a glide path. So I think overall the scenario seems to be very good, and we believe that the reforms and the policy measures such as GST, IBC, which is insolvency and banking thing, and real estate, corporate tax rates, all these and high level of penetration are making the Indian economy very resilient despite the challenges in the global market. And also very heavy lifting by the government on infrastructure has been a very positive story. So I think with this background, let me look at South India. I mean, which comprises the 6 states, starting with Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Andhra, Karnataka, Kerala, and Pondicherry. And South India accounts for almost 31% of India GDP. And I think, which is almost, I can say, 1/3 of India's GDP. So it plays a very, very important role. It is actually, Tamil Nadu is the growth engine for the country, because Tamil Nadu plays even a more striking role with 9.1% of the total contribution in GDP. And going forward, the rate at which we are planning initiatives and the governments are doing, I think this could even increase. And if you look at ease of doing business, I think top achievers have been Andhra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. Kerala is aspiring to get there, and Pondicherry is also looking at emerging business ecosystem. So overall, South India will be the growth engine for India for many, many decades to come. And so therefore we are very delighted to be here to share this good news. So now really, so far the story has been interesting, last 2 to 3 years, but I think more importantly, past is past. We have to look at the future. So if we look at fast forward, how do we say South India at 100? By the time South India becomes 100, or India becomes 100, which is in 2047, today we are 75. So over the next 25 years, the Amrit Kal, what really are the priorities? So CII has decided the priorities, the 5 main priorities or themes, so to say. One is, how do we become competitive? Competitiveness, growth, we need to continue to grow. If we want to lift millions out of poverty, we need to continue to grow. Growth is not for the sake of feeling good. Growth is a necessity for us. Third is sustainability. How do we sustain, and how do we follow sustainable practices? And the 5th element is trust, and the 5th element of course is globalization. How do we can't keep looking inwards. World is the market for us, and we need to get there. So with this theme, we said, if this is the theme, then how do we get to this theme? What are the enablers? What are the levers which will help us to get to this theme? So we believe we have 9 tracks of 9 enablers which we believe will take south of India to the real position of strength going forward. The first one very, very clearly is people and culture rejuvenation. I will come to these very, very briefly. I will not get into details. Why I am sharing with you all this is, I mean, it's a little bit of detail. Somebody may ask me, why am I sharing so much of detail with the media? But I thought I will look at some of these tracks very, very clearly. So first is people and culture rejuvenation. So I'll come to them one by one. Second, holistic sustainability and ESG agenda. I mean, the third one is technology adoption and digital transformation. The fourth is embracing energy transition. Fifth is innovation and startup ecosystem, manufacturing excellence, partnerships, collaborations and international linkages, MSMEs, brand building and sectoral promotion. So I will look at each one of these. But before that, let me just say when India touches $7 trillion, South India will cross $1 trillion. I think that is something which is very important for us to realize, and so therefore it is continuing to play a very, very big role. And Tamil Nadu is again going to do heavy lifting within southern India, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, particularly these two states. Let me now come to these 9 enablers. How we will get there? What is getting there? Competitiveness, growth, sustainability, trust, globalization. How? If we have to get there, we have to do these 9 things. And these are big things. I mean, then on the slide, this look very simple. But we have to be very, very clear that why we are saying people and culture is most important. Because pandemic has taught us that this world is going to remain uncertain. That pandemic was not the first and not the last. Okay? Something similar can happen. How can we mitigate that risk? That risk is mitigated only when we have agile and adaptable people. When we have skilled people, when we have people who are willing to learn, when we build learning organization who want to get upskilled and new ways of working, people are wanting to work. People can innovate, people can experiment, people are not scared of failing. I think all of that is very, very important. Failure, I mean, when we are always scared of failing, then we will never experiment. So that new culture, how do we get diversity and inclusion? How do we get women in the workforce? How do we move to tier 1, tier 2 towns? I mean, this growth cannot be just in one city or in one. Therefore, that is one CII's vision, that we want to really spread the growth to other cities as well. That is why CII has a number of centers. Even if you look at Tamil Nadu, we have our offices in Trichy, Erode, we have in Coimbatore. So we have many other, Salem. We have so many places where CII has spread, and we will continue to grow in some of these areas. So we are going to really work very hard on people and culture piece, and there are a number of deliverables, how we will go by state, by district, by region. The second is holistic sustainability, and this is something very critical. You may have the best product in the world, but 3 or 4 years down the line, you will not be able to sell outside India if you do not tick the box of sustainability. When I say sustainability, what do we mean? Sustainability means that whatever you do has to be environmentally friendly, has to be socially inclusive, and has to be economically viable, which means more for less, which means resource efficiency. So all these 3 things put together, and the 4th thing is morally ethical. So if we put together all these 4 things, then it's where then it will bring in a lot of force. And as you all know, CII has a center of excellence in Hyderabad, which is, we call it green building, where we have done a lot of work on, we do a lot of work on sustainability, and we will continue to do that. And already 10 billion square feet of certified green buildings have been done by CII, and out of that, within South India, it is, I think, more than 3 billion square feet, if I'm right. Okay. So I think that is the kind of thing. So we are going to talk about how do we go to net zero. You must be hearing net zero big time these days. Net zero means how do we take that science-based targets, SBTI is science-based targets, how do we move from current level of fossil fuels to net zero journey? How do we bring in cluster approach? So we have a complete program tied together on, and how do we really award people who excel on environment, health and safety. So I think the dynamics of working is changing. Everything is not profits and business orientation. I think a lot of these factors will play a huge role. Employees will select companies which are sustainable. So I think it's a big shift which is happening, which we need to realize. Let me go to the third one. Third one is technology adoption and digital transformation. So I think this is a very important piece which you all know. Today we call ourselves automotive company or a pharma company or a textile company. I think 5 years down the line we will all call ourselves technology companies, because technology is now all pervasive. Technology is going to take over every business, whether it is education, whether it is textile industry. So all of this, and therefore how do we help our people, our companies in south of India to embrace new technologies, because many people are scared to get into new things. How can CII be the thing? So CII is planning big items on this to understand big data and artificial intelligence and handhold 200 MSMEs in southern region on digital transformation. So I think this is something very important. Exclusive sessions on metaverse, web 3.0, AI. So, and we will work with state governments to really bring in policies on manufacturing and industry 4.0 as well when we talk of technology adoption and digital transformation. And I'm going to come, when I talk about MSMEs, I'm going to talk to you about a novel thing which we are going to do to help MSMEs to come up to speed. So, embracing energy transition is another one. This is very important. As I said, when you go forward 4 or 5 years down the line, a lot of pressure will come on energy transition. What kind of energy you're using? Renewable energy is going to be the key, and India is going to become one of the leaders, as more than 50% of our energy capacity will be based on renewable energy. So that's something very important. So we are going to help state governments as CII on renewable power policies. We're going to conduct regional level summits on clean mobility, EVs, state level summits on alternate fuels and solid waste management, so that to really create a ecosystem of knowledge on how to embrace energy, because this is a daunting task. It is not an easy task, and we need collaboration in some of these. Then the next fifth enabler is innovation and startup ecosystem. And we know that this is so important, and India is one of the top 3 when it comes to the startup ecosystem. We have 84,000 startups in India, and out of which more than 100 have become unicorns. Unicorns is, their valuations are more than $1 billion, you know. So, I mean, more than 8,000 crore valuation, okay. So, we want to really build on that, and CII, as you would be glad to know, we have started a center in Hyderabad for entrepreneurship and innovation. And this center is really going to help new companies, new innovators, new startups to come and use our facility to really scale up, to go to the next level. So if you have an idea and you don't have the resources, use CII Center of Excellence and Entrepreneurship to really move there. So, and of course, huge academia industry partnership, sharing and learning, innovation summit, which happens in Bangalore every year, which is a marquee event. Please do follow that. The next, and this is a very important one, is manufacturing excellence. And I think this is a golden opportunity which we have got. Today, a lot of manufacturing is shifting to India. As you know, out of almost $4 trillion of manufacturing worldwide is moving to other geographies. And India can be one of the major recipients of this shift. And even if we get 10% of this shift, India's manufacturing, which is currently $400 billion or $500 billion, will double to $800 billion or $900 billion. And if we get 20% of that shift, which is not a very big deal, our manufacturing can go to $1.2 billion, $1.2 trillion, which is going to be the key thing. And that will then move our manufacturing to 25% of GDP, from 15 to 17% of GDP. And why I am focusing so much on manufacturing? Because this is something which has got a multiplier effect. One job in manufacturing leads to 2.5 jobs outside. So I think that's something very important. And the other thing is that it is the major job creator. And within manufacturing, it is the MSMEs which create 80% of the jobs. So it's very, very important for us to focus on manufacturing first, and within manufacturing, not on the Volvos and the Toyotas of the world, on smaller companies, on mid-sized companies, on small-scale companies, on micro companies which create jobs. And that is really going to become, and this is our opportunity. This is a God-sent opportunity. The stars have aligned. We really need to take the bull by the horn and really take this forward. Therefore, CII has decided that we will conduct, and our problem is with MSMEs is that they are not able to scale up. They go up to a particular level and then they don't scale up. We want them to scale up. We want to go to global standards. So therefore, CII, through 10 centers of excellence, we have 10 centers of excellence bringing in different knowledge, either on competitiveness or on sustainability or on new ways of working or on quality or whatever, on starting. So we are going to conduct a program, 2-day program at the doorstep in every district, okay, over the next 1.5 years, to cover at least 2,000 MSMEs, to understand global practices, to understand how to start a business, how to develop new products, how to grow, how to make a business plan, how to analyze a balance sheet, how to do all of that, and how to really transform digitally, how to bring in new technology, how to embrace new technology. So all that I have talked about, all the 9 levers, we are going to bring in knowledge of all the 9 levers in a 2-day sensitization program for all our MSMEs at free of cost. And I think this is going to be a very big initiative of CII to really support India and South India, particularly in our journey. And there are a number of things which we are going to talk about, whether it is competitiveness, sustainability, all of that we are going to talk about. The next 7th pillar, very 7th enabler is clearly partnerships, collaborations, and international linkages. I mean, today the saying is, partnership is the future leadership. Future leadership will be defined by how many partners you have, what kind of partners you have. So to my mind, this is something very critical. Therefore, that's why CII is engaged. CII, as you know, is the secretariat. Government has appointed CII as the secretariat for B20 as part of the G20 initiative of Government of India. CII is driving the B20 initiative, and here we are trying to see how we can really collaborate with the international ecosystem, how we can have international linkages and networking opportunities. And Mystic South initiative is to promote southern states as an attractive destination amongst overseas investors who will come over the course of this period. And almost 4 to 5 B20 level programs are being held in southern India as a CII initiative, so that we can align state and national vision and focus, which could drive partnerships in a big way. And this is something which I have already talked about, MSME focus. This is a separate, we are taking it as, even though this gets covered in manufacturing, but we are talking it as a separate pillar, because this decade will witness profound transformation. But the time to act is now. MSMEs cannot wait. They need to really ride this unprecedented wave which is coming in manufacturing. So we want to help them, we want to handhold them. I've mentioned 1,000 MSMEs, but actually it's going to be 2,000 MSMEs who are going to be serviced and sensitized on various elements on competitiveness, building partnerships, and CEO mentoring services, vendor development, buyer-seller meets, so that our MSMEs can get that support which they need, whether it is mentoring or otherwise. And then, of course, final thing is, proof of the pudding is how you communicate also. And end of the day, many times we do a good job, but in India and in South India, we don't brand ourselves. we need to do a branding. We need to really tom some of our good things which we do. So I think it's very important, and CII has already started some of these initiatives like Dakshin, which is media and entertainment show, which was a great success, big hit in Chennai just about a month back. I think some of you were there in that as well. And of course, then we are showcasing XCon, where we are showing the construction equipment infrastructure in Bangalore. Then Textiles 360, Mystique South, Ayurveda Summit. Like this, we have number of them. The idea is to really brand our states, our cities, our districts. And that is where CII wants to work very closely. And we are looking at some examples like Andhra Pradesh as exports and logistics center, Kerala as food processing and Ayurveda, Karnataka as aerospace and EV, Pondicherry auto ancillaries, pharma, Tamil Nadu of course is auto, media, entertainment. It can also become a fintech capital. So I think there are a number of things which Tamil Nadu stands for already, many things. So, but we can decide district by district how we want to brand Tamil Nadu. And then of course Telangana for pharma and life sciences. So I think this is going to be very important. We want to really also bring in the growth of rural economy through this brand building program. Just like we had in Karur a Moringa fair, which really made Karur on the global map. Everybody knows, oh, Moringa fair, it was Karur. So I think that is something which we want. We want that relationship, that association, and that is what is branding all about. And that is what CII wants to play a big role, so that we can differentiate our country, our states, our southern region from rest of the world. So that's the purpose of that. That's broadly that, but let me very quickly come to two very important institutions which CII has, which is one is Indian Women Network. This is basically the largest network. Indian Women Network is the largest network of career women who are promoting women participation, growth and leadership in workplace. This is very important for us, because when we talk of sustainability and gender equity is a very important part of sustainability. We want at least 50% women in the workforce. Today they are not even 25. So we really need to, and I mean, if you want to really become a global power, if we are saying we want to become the top 3 economies in the world, it will be a shame if we don't have our women in the workforce, in leadership positions. So I think, and IWIN is something which does that. We've already got 8 chapters in South India. We have more than 350 members in Southern region for IWIN. I want more and more, please, through the medium of your, from this media, please do talk about it so that more women can look at opportunities which can come. The other is, of course, Young Indians, YI, which is again, it's a movement for Indian youth to converge, lead, co-create and influence India's future. Here again, we have 22 chapters in Southern region with a total membership of about more than 2,000 members. So this is again something very interesting. And here again, I want you to please spread this information, because you all will play a very major role in, when I am saying probably that my 10th enabler will be the media. If I have talked about 9, I think the 10th is media. If you can spread this information as to what's happening, so that everybody can make use of our services and CII, and this is all pro bono. We do not make money here. So this is all something which is done in the interest of the Southern India and India. And of course, this is I will request my colleague Dr. Nandini to talk a little bit more about Tamil Nadu. I think this is, since Tamil Nadu happens to be almost 50% of southern region as far as CII is concerned. When India touches $7-8 trillion, we are looking at Tamil Nadu to touch 1 trillion. Not a small economy. It will be much bigger than many countries in the world. So 1 trillion by 2030. So how to transform Tamil Nadu as a media, entertainment, animation hub, but many more things. Why don't you, Nandini, why don't you come and talk? Yeah.
Medical devices, electronics, fintech, among other key sectors to support the overall growth of the state. We will also work very closely with the state government in transforming Tamil Nadu as a media and entertainment and animation hub of India. Another important area the state, along with we will focus in CII, would be on the development of the southern districts in the state. CII also proposes for Tamil Nadu special economic zones in southern districts of Tamil Nadu and Chennai, and the Chennai-Hosur Industrial Corridor to attract new investments into the state with focus on new age industries. This year, to enable all this, we will come up with 6 district vision documents to promote industrial growth and job creation in Tamil Nadu. We will also promote cities like Chennai as the fintech capital of India, and Chennai can also become the global hub for GCCs, that is a global capability centers, in view of the large presence of GCCs already housed in Chennai. CII is also working very closely with the government of Tamil Nadu in many of their schemes in the education sector, especially the Nan Mudalvan scheme and the Namma School scheme.
Our focus on MSMEs, because we believe that is the way forward. And of course, if you look at various sectors, we touch every sector of economy, whether it is startups, whether it is steel and non-ferrous metals, textiles, tourism, aerospace, defense, agriculture, auto and auto components, chemicals, drugs, education, big one, 12% education, which is very important sector again, energy, power, renewable, food processing, healthcare, infrastructure, real estate, construction, IT and ITES, again big one, 9%. So if you look at CII, CII is the most, I would say, developed, evolved institution. We are not simply an industry body. We call ourselves Development Institute. We look at overall growth of not only economy, of the societal fabric of the country. So I think that's something important. And yeah, so of course, Tamil Nadu I have already talked about. Yeah. So these are some of the major initiatives which I was talking of when I was talking of branding. I thought just to let you know what all we can do and what all we do. And in this year, Connect 2023, Food Pro, Northeast Textile 360, XCon, Dakshin just happened, Surface Coating, India Innovation Summit, Global Ayurveda Summit, Business Entrepreneurship Awards, Adhesives and Sealants, Mystic South, where we showcase the culture of Southern India. Then of course Brand Summit, Nursing Conclave, Kerala Health Tourism, then Commercial Vehicles, Spice Conference. So whole gamut of activities. And I think to me that's very, very important. So with this, I would like to thank you for listening so patiently to me. Probably I have taken 5 minutes more than I promised, but I will now sit down and I will take. See, this is just a picture which we have given. We are talking of 6 workshops, one in each state on business transformation, skilling. Not only skilling, we are hand-holding the MSMEs from the complete business outlook, which will include people. So that's what we are saying. Agile and adaptable organization, people who are skilled, upskilling, agility, digitally savvy employees, all of that we are doing. In fact, CII is doing a lot of work on skills, and we have 10 centers of excellence. I talked about we are going to do programs for more than about close to 2,000 MSMEs across southern India, where we will go to each district, and every program include about 50 to 60 companies who will learn the new techniques, the new ecosystem, how it is maintaining, how it's coming up. So most of them are CII members, but we do not, even if there is not a CII member, we will not say no.
Do we have a number as to your own friends?
2,000.
2,000 in Tamil Nadu?
No, total in South
Southern
India.
region.
So Tamil Nadu could be about 800.
Yeah. Are you going to SME clusters to handhold them, or how are you going to approach this?
So right now the approach would be the first set of programs. So let me explain to you. The first set of programs are sensitization program. This is a 2-day program which touch from starting a business to developing a product to growing to people, processes, quality, go to market, strategy, business plan, everything. 360-degree program. This will be done. We will go irrespective of which sector you are. We will go and deliver the program on your doorstep, which means we'll go to one city and we'll call all the MSMEs there, maybe 50 or 60 at a time. So we will give that program. And following that, whatever are the interest areas, for instance, you have an interest area on quality and Kaizen. Somebody has an interest area in assembly or paint shop. So those will be tackled separately from time to time. But the first program will be common for all MSMEs so that everybody gets the skill set and the knowledge, which is so much required. If I talked of those 5 elements: competitiveness, sustainability, growth, trust, and internationalization. So that's one. Then we do many other programs where we bring in buyer sellers together. So a lot of programs are going to happen. This is our top agenda.
Are you involving other stakeholders also, like the government or MSME ministry, because they're or banks and financial institutions?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think we have so it works in different states differently. We have a joint consultative forum with some states. In some states, we work with the separate state governments from time to time. We decide what are the skill sets required, and then we run a program. We have how many skill centers we have?
We have 11 skill centers across India.
11 skill centers across India. So we do that as well. And then we also tie up with other skill centers if required. So the idea is to enable things. CII's approach is to enable things. Yeah.
Sir, you are referring to how Tamil Nadu and Karnataka are going to lead the country in terms of India achieving 7 trillion economy by 2030. If Tamil Nadu's 1 trillion economy by 2030, can you please give us the breakup of other 4 southern states by 2020? What would be their total, cumulative GDP, sir?
See, to my mind, this is just a back of the envelope exercise. You cannot put any number right now. It's quite long, but I think I can give you a rough guesstimate. I won't even say estimate, a guesstimate. 35% of 7 trillion should be South India. So how much is 35% of 7? I do not know how much is the number. It's about maybe about 2.5 crores, 2.5 billion trillion dollar. That should be South India. Yeah, so that's because already South India is at about 31%, right? And this share will grow of South India. To my mind, it should grow to about 35%. Yeah.
So when you say South India, which are the thrust sectors that are expected to grow? Primarily it should be manufacturing. Will you be able to give us the breakup on manufacturing and services?
Yeah. So as I said, manufacturing is, if you look at overall India, and South India is also not very different, about 17 to 18% is manufacturing of total GDP. If you look at Tamil Nadu, if Tamil Nadu is $1 trillion at some point in time, out of this, the manufacturing will be roughly about $200 billion. Approximately. I'm just 20%, because I believe manufacturing has to grow to 25% at some point in time. Today we are at 17%. I'm saying by the time we are talking 2030, we should at least be 20%, if not more. So Tamil Nadu should be, and if Tamil Nadu economy touches 1 trillion or maybe 900 billion, we should be about 150 to 200 billion in manufacturing. And Tamil Nadu is highly focused on manufacturing.
Last few questions, sir.
Yeah.
Which are the competitive states for South India?
Which are the
competitive states for South India as far as 2030 is concerned? I'm referring to the states, whether it would be Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, or Gujarat. In terms of when India achieves a 7 trillion economy.
Yeah, no, I think we all know those numbers are not hidden. I think Maharashtra is the largest when it comes to single economy. Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Karnataka, these are the top 5 states. I think these top 5 states will account for almost 50% of India's GDP. So they will, every state like that, every state will continue, and it is good for India. It is good for India that every state continues, because 7 trillion is not the destination. We have to reach 35 trillion. 35 trillion by when we turn 100. So therefore all states will have to contribute, all states will do well. But definitely states like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra, Telangana have a head start. Maharashtra, Gujarat, these are also very, very powerful states. UP is coming up big way. So, yeah, UP is coming up big way, large state. They need to, there's a big population of that state. So, to my mind, I think all states will grow. But as far as I am concerned about southern India. So, how do we grow southern India in a big way? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just in the next 7 years, UP is also growing, other states also. So, taking a cue from his question, there is a a lacuna in upgrading, upskilling the skill set, right? So now, in the event of the northern states are growing on par with the western or southern states, and there is a migration. I mean, the workforce there is a sudden dip in migration of workforce from north to south. What will be the impact on the southern states, sir?
No, I think this phenomena will change dramatically, because as we bring in more and more youth into the workforce and we start skilling them, when the education, see, it is all as I explained to you in the beginning, it's all a matter of the virtuous cycle of growth. As our GDP grows, as per capita income grows, more and more young boys and girls will get educated. More and more people will want to come out of the agriculture and get into manufacturing. So I think that shift will happen. So therefore more manpower will be available. In fact, you're talking of within India, the country is expecting that 1 out of 5 individuals in the world by 2040 will be Indians in the workforce. If there are 100 people in the workforce in the entire world, 20 will be from India. 1 out of 5. So that's a very, very major shift likely to happen. So I'm very optimistic that this shift with changing education patterns, with growing incomes and better education system, which Dr. Nandini is leading, one of the greatest institutions in Coimbatore. I mean, I think with those kind of institutions and things, I think things will change. More manpower will be available, more skilled manpower will be available. So I don't think we have dearth of manpower. I think there is a mismatch today, mismatch of job and the skill set. So that is something which we need to work on. And this is a job which all of us have to do. Yeah.
Exactly, Mr. Bali, because what South India requires is more blue-collar workers. And what we have is more white-collar jobs.
Yeah.
So that's the mismatch we are seeing.
So Bala, absolutely you're right. I mean, I think this has happened in India. I think the story is that we jumped from agriculture straight to services. And services account for almost 50%, 52% of our GDP, right? So we, compared to many other economies like South Korea, China, or many other economies, or Germany, where manufacturing anchored these countries for 4 to 5 decades. Here what has happened is, from agriculture, we have jumped to services. Manufacturing has had a raw deal in the last 20-25 years. So that is the time when we lost out to China. And I think therefore that is the period, that is now the time has come where we can correct that. And to me, the sweet period of India starts now. And the next 20 to 30 years is the sweet spot for India. And I think we should not let go of it. And therefore, but all of us have to play a role. It's a relay race. Everyone will have to contribute. Whether you all in media, by communicating the right stuff to reaching the right people, so that everybody can use the right resources which are available. And CII, organizations like CII play the role of nation building, not only just economy, because I think economy is just one part of nation building. And we basically take pride in saying that we are nation builders. We are development institute, and working on economy and business is just 50% of our job.
No, you only have one. You only have one in Tirunelveli. You only have one. So you need to create an environment around it. So that is what we need to work around. You need to have that social system around it to have investors to come in. Gangaikondan is actually, you don't have space. Now they are expanding over there. So that is also happening. You have electronic manufacturing which has gone to, Tatas have gone to Tirunelveli. Slowly
so
it's
also chicken and egg story. Do you create the infrastructure first, or you get the investors first? First you get the investors. I think India will have to invest in infrastructure, and which is what I'm happy to say that the government is doing. I think in the last few years, infrastructure development has been phenomenal, but we need to continue this for the next 20 years at least. If we really want, I mean, this is not a short-term journey. We are talking of decades, and India is going to be in the sweet spot for next 4 to 5 decades at least. So this journey has to go on.
Sir, since you said that this sweetest period is start for India. So just did you study about what's the status of MSME sector, because MSME sector was struggling
Yes.
During the COVID
Right.
times.
Right.
Also this post-pandemic, also the situation is no different. So have you conducted any study about that? What is the condition of this?
Yes,
MSME
yes,
sector?
yes. Lots. We have done a lot of work, and I think government has also given some emergency credit facility to MSMEs. A lot. In fact, I was reading today's news report where public sector banks have record high loans given, emergency credit guarantees given for MSMEs. And during COVID period, a lot of support was given to MSMEs. So I think that's one. It is in a better state. But I think going forward, right now, what's happening is the interest rates are again going up. That is one of the challenges for MSMEs. We will have to request, and CII is going to make a request to the government to reduce the interest rates by a couple of percentage points, so that MSMEs can go on and do not face the brunt of high cost. So a lot of good work has been done. Emergency credit guarantee scheme has been given, which is very, very good. This is running into some 3 to 4 lakh crore.
You are going to ask for the government or the banks to
No,
reduce the
government has to provide a guarantee for the banks to lend, so that if there is they don't pay, that there's not a bad debt as far as the banks will recover from the government. So that is the reason. So we are going to request as CII to give some interest subvention. We are going to ask both the state governments and the central government. This is going to be one of our requests.
Also, one question is this unemployment is one of the main reasons still in India. So, what is do you have taken any steps to maintain this unemployment this issue? So, because the MSME is one of the main job creators. So, have you any plan to improve
Exactly.
that side?
Exactly. I think we need to bring in focus in manufacturing. As I said earlier, that we jumped from agriculture to services straight away. In between, we missed this big step of manufacturing. So that's one. Second, we need to create those skilled manpower so that we can have. If you look at the skilled manpower in India, it is very, very low. It's about not even 10% of our total manpower is formally skilled. They're skilled either on the job or otherwise. So we need to increase that number. So organizations like CII and other institutions are trying to do the matching to see we can create skilled manpower to suit the jobs which are available. So I think that is the key job which needs to be done, and then I think unemployment will reduce dramatically.
So also in the next 6 months, Tamil Nadu is going to host a global investor meet. What would CII's role be in that? So because last two editions, CII played a major role over there.
Yeah, CII will be the partner to Tamil Nadu government on the investors summit. We have, I think the previous two also CII was the partner, and I think we will continue to partner.
Already the dialogues with the government has started, and we are working with them. We actually were partnering. We did support the government during their recent trips to Japan and Singapore. We were, of course, working with them on this.
Mr. Kamal Bali, I want to ask you about the impact of the afforestation and the carbon tax initiatives. Many analysts are saying that this will affect the energy-intensive sectors, even automobile, leather industry, textile industry, steel manufacturers in India. So, how do you see the impact? And you mentioned the manufacturing will solve our job problems, but some are saying that the increased automation will lead to fewer jobs and more automated manufacturing. So how we are going to balance that?
Let me answer your second question first. This is a debate which has been going on, that automation leads to automation and autonomous solutions lead to lesser jobs. This is not true. What it leads to is shifting of jobs. Jobs of nature A will become jobs of nature B. That is the big thing which happens. Therefore, the skill sets will change. A lot of what will happen when automation industry 4.0 comes into play, a lot of machines which are run by being on the shop floor can be run from your office or from your home through your laptop. You will still do the same job, but in an automated way. The jobs will shift. Earlier you were a blue collared guy, then you might become a white collar guy sitting at home. So the boundaries between jobs is going to get blurred. There will be less difference between manufacturing and services as we go along. So I think that is what technology is doing. So that is very, very true, because we have been talking about this ever since the typewriters were gone and PCs came. We said secretaries will lose their jobs. I think secretaries got much better jobs. Their jobs were enhanced. They were more empowered. PCs made their life much easier. Then something else happened. We started worrying. So jobs don't get lost. It is not, humankind is not a zero-sum game. So when something new comes in, it opens up new value chains. And like for instance, people are talking in automotive industry, what will happen when automation happens? When automation happens, a new set of opportunities will come. People will selling more cameras, more software, more surveillance equipment, more infotainment. So there's a whole huge value chain which opens up, which we don't account. It's not a zero-sum game. That if this stops, and everything is a dead end. It's not a dead end. So that's the first point. As far as afforestation and this is concerned, I think this is again a very old debate. I think if countries like India, which are very responsible, let me say that we are 17% of the world population, okay, but we only pollute 3% of the, or 3 or 5%. I don't have the exact number, not more than 5% pollution is what we are responsible for, against our legitimate right of 17%. I'm not saying that we should do 17, but so we are in a pretty good position as far as carbon neutrality is concerned. We have already stated a glide path for renewable energy, and we have said by 2030 almost 60% of our energy will be renewable, 50 to 60%. So I think which is a very, very good shift from 80% thermal energy to saying 50% renewable energy by 2030. It's a very good shift, I think. So we will be compliant even on carbon, I think, going forward. And we have committed to 2070 as our net zero goal. So I think we are going to be okay. Afforestation is going to happen where it is required. I think there has to be a balance. Everything which we do in life has to be a game of balance. And I'm sure society and the country together will take those steps. Yeah.
Let me rephrase my question. The EU has emphasized that recent CABR initiative, the carbon border tax, and with that, many are saying that the Indian manufactured goods will be less competitive in the European market, thereby losing the market share. So, especially in the steel industry and in the leather and textile industries. So, do you have you have mentioned ESG and energy transition as one of your important focus areas.
Right.
So, how we are going to transform our industries into...
So, we are enablers. Ultimately, industry and companies have to do it. We are enablers. We advise, we help companies to do that. So, but just to let you know that India is following a very good path. Let me tell you that there were only 300 companies till about 3 years back who had agreed to science-based targets, okay, globally. 315 companies to be precise for net zero. Today, there are more than 3,000 companies which have committed to science-based targets for net zero glide path. So India is one of many companies belong to India. And for your information, the first green casting is from Tamil Nadu. Green casting by Breaks India. It has come from Tamil Nadu, and that's the first one. So we can be very proud of what's happening in India. So we all have to follow that path. See, Boss, the starting line is same for everyone, whether it is Europe or America. It's not that they are more sustainable than us. Okay. Everybody will have to work for this. This is a new goalpost which has suddenly come for everyone. It used to be lip service for some time. People, it used to be only on PowerPoint presentation, sustainability. Now it is becoming a reality because climate action is required.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you so you don't see any short-term impact on the Indian industries,
No.
manufacturing sector?
I don't think so. As long as companies follow the sustainability net zero path, whatever they have committed, it can't be now on paper. We will have to do it. That's the major shift which has come. So now it is a serious matter. That to that extent I agree, but I don't think we are in any sort of a danger of India not doing it and other countries doing it. If other countries can do it, India will do it as well.
That sector is also pretty big, and I think the what is the size of that sector? We recently had a very big.
It's a $5 billion industry, and this is one of the industry which is booming. Which neighboring, it actually that media entertainment industry was anchored in Chennai in the olden days of all the film studios were all happening here. The what do you call the music? Everything was happening here, and from here it goes to southern states. But now none of them happens here. Everybody from Tamil Nadu go there. So there is a huge loss of what do you call it, revenue which the state is facing. So, but now slowly things are coming back. Many this is one of the focus which we have picked up as media entertainment. Not only movies. Look at animation. Look at look at gaming industry. The games which are actually made are actually based out of Pune or Mumbai or Hyderabad. The VFX studios which are there, they are not many, but these are sectors which we need to. So there is a focus report on media and entertainment for Tamil Nadu. What is the roadmap? We have a report. Happy if you would like to, please let us know. We will be happy to share on that, please. Thank you.
Credit to credit support MSMEs. Are you going to seek extension of the credit guarantee scheme or subvention from the center and state?
Both. Extension as well as, because I think today is the time to continue the support. Our CII's logic is that we need to continue this support. If MSMEs need it, we need to give it. And that is one part, to extend the support. Second is to also look at interest rate subvention so that our MSMEs do not have any additional burden because of higher interest rates. Because what has happened is that repo rate has increased over the last 2-3 years. Because of that, interest rates have gone up, which is making those loans little costlier for the MSME. So we are going to make a request and a representation to both state level governments in southern India as well as central government. And that's going to be.
Also, government is trying to hike the power tariff also.
Yeah, I mean, I think those challenges of this is all related to inflation. Those challenges of inflation are there everywhere. But I'm sure that you want to add to this? Yeah, please.
Yeah, but they haven't increased the power for the past 10 years, so they are forced to make good all the whether we are okay or not, we have to work around it.
Yeah.
So that's why renewable energy also comes into play.
Yeah.
There's now we have more than I think 8,500 megawatts of wind and 5,000 megawatts of solar already in the state. So more and more solar projects are coming in. So I think you have to balance the both.
Yeah. There will definitely be some inflation on energy cost also. We have to see what is the base cost today. How does it compare with the rest of the world? And where are we going to get tomorrow? So I think there has to be a balance. Yeah. Pardon? No, I think these enablers are all working together to reach that goal. All these enablers, For me, if you ask me, people. Everything else can be bought, can be purchased if push comes to shove. But I think what is most critical is the skill, the ability and agility of our people and the people capital. And I think that is going to be the name of the game as far as India is concerned. That is our biggest strength, is our people. And the trust which we are creating across the world. To me, everything else is a common factor across the world. Everybody will have to move on sustainability journey. Everybody will have to do digital transformation. Everybody will have to do new technology adoption. But I think the difference what we will make is our people. And that is why the first slide, if you see, is people and culture. Rejuvenation, we said. We need to really move up our talent several notches up, give them the right skills, give them the right culture, make them adaptable. Remember when we were in college, we were told, build to last. Today they are saying, build to adapt. That's the difference. You don't have to build to last for 20 years because no technology, no skill is going to be relevant for 20 years. You will need to shift the skills. So you have to be adaptable.
Okay, thank you. I think we'll have time for the video channels if you. Okay, please can come forward.
Thank you very much.